If you feel lost or unsure on your direction in life, this lack of clarity is often the result of a heart iron-walled from past hurts and or blocked sexual energy. Either way, I think we could all use a little bit of sexual healing. Not only would that lead to better sex, but it will also lead to greater clarity and direction in your life. When it comes to our sexuality, we're often taught that our sexuality is shameful, bad, wrong, or it's something to hide. This leads not only to a lack of pleasure and fulfillment and intimacy, but it also creates a lot of confusion. How you do anything is how you do everything. So when you shame or hide or deny any part of yourself, this creates a lack of self-awareness. How can you find clarity in your life if you are lacking in self-awareness? This is a question so many people ask themselves every single day, especially now with the world changing so much and people just not really sure what they want to create and what they want to do with their lives. And you can find a lot of answers in two places: your heart and your sexuality. This is why we learn and grow so much in relationships. When your heart is guarded and walled off from unprocessed grief, it's hard to feel what's going on inside of you. It's hard to be connected to your inner vision. And when you shame your sexual energy in any way, this is usually unconscious, but when you are hiding or denying or avoiding any part of your sexuality, you are disconnecting from your source of power within you. Think about it. How can you know what you want if you aren't even feeling how things affect you? And how can you feel confident or empowered in any decisions you would make if you're disconnected from your desires and the source of power within? In this video, I'm focusing specifically on the imbalance in sexual energy. This can show up in several different ways. It can show up as numbness or avoidance or a disconnection from what actually feels good in your body. It can show up in freeze, like a way where you feel like you don't know how to communicate what you want or your boundaries. It can show up as an obsession with sex, or using sex as a way to get your needs met, or even using sex to avoid true intimacy. The reality is that as a culture, we will continue to have elements of our sexuality shamed, repressed, overactive, underactive, denied, and blocked until we start to normalize having conversations about sex, desire, pleasure, boundaries, consent, and making it a beautiful and important part of the human experience, instead of something that is taboo, uncomfortable, and awkward. And this is exactly what we're going to be doing in my upcoming workshop, Orgasmic Existence. It's all about deepening intimacy and liberating your sexual energy. Singles, couples, all genders, and all sexual orientations are welcome. Link in the description below to get all of the juicy details and to sign up. It's going to be a powerful transformation experience. Sexual liberation is an avenue to happiness and fulfillment in life. It's not about promiscuity or being obsessed with sex. It's about freeing yourself from the judgments and the shame. Once you let go of these judgments, most of which we've just learned and inherited from shitty media and honestly, advertisements and religions and church and just the stuff that we inherited unconsciously and didn't even realize. Plus, we have our own personal experiences that have happened in the past. And all of these things have created all kinds of opinions and judgments and fears. And until we go in and actually rewrite those stories, they continue to affect us in the present moment. That's just the nature of the mind. So when we go in and clear up these judgments and these opinions, then you can begin to connect to yourself more intimately and to connect with your sexual energy in an open and authentic way. you'll get to learn more and more about yourself in an open and authentic way. And naturally, this is going to transfer into all areas of your life. When you have the embodied experience of opening to greater pleasure, when you have the embodied experience of feeling more relaxed and comfortable in your body, you discover more of your desires, you develop greater self-awareness, you begin to notice the subtleties of your preferences, your boundaries, and as a natural side effect, you will begin to feel more confident using your voice. These are the tools that you need in order to create a life of clarity and direction based on your original felt sense, your emotional awareness, your self-awareness, and the things that you actually want compared to what you think you should do according to other people's opinions and expectations. When you're sexually liberated, you are naturally more confident and empowered. You'll be able to make decisions based on what is right for you, rather than what other people expect or want from you. This self-sovereignty is empowering, and when you feel empowered, you don't seek as much external validation. In other words, you stop people-pleasing. You begin self-sourcing, and this is true self-love. This is the key to creating a life you want. My clients, no matter what age they are, no matter what they're going through, they don't have manifesting problems. Generally, what's going on is they have a lack of clarity on what it is that they actually want and what is getting in the way. Like, in other words, what's blocking them unconsciously. The majority of our work together is getting the conscious and the unconscious mind on the same page. Manifesting happens automatically and almost effortlessly once there's harmony in your mind and your awareness of what you want. And what's really cool is your relationship to your sexuality reveals your most hidden unconscious beliefs. So you can just imagine what kind of manifesting powers become unleashed when you unblock your sexual energy. Sexual liberation is a journey, my friends. It is something that you will continuously explore and discover about yourself, as have I, throughout my life. And it's something that you can deepen with yourself or with a partner, but it's absolutely not required. And in fact, I recommend you just begin on your own. The more open and aware you are of yourself as a sexual being and the things that you want and desire, you will naturally begin to learn how to communicate those things. And communication is absolutely the key to living a successful life with other human beings. So when you begin to connect with yourself on a deeper level and understand what it is that you like, what you want, what you're curious about, you start to develop the language about how to share that with others and how to ask for the things that you want in a way that's sexy and loving and not afraid of the other person's reaction. This is so essential when you want to have a healthy, loving relationship. I also can't think of a better place to work out and play with your boundaries and communicating them, especially if you've spent a lot of time always caring about other people, trying to keep the peace, taking care of others, or you are concerned that you have codependent patterns that you'd like to break. When you go into healing your relationship to your sexuality and freeing up your sexual energy, this is such an amazing place to put into practice how to communicate your boundaries, how to figure out what you want, what you need, and then communicate that, which is absolutely key if you want to end codependent patterns. Most people don't ever get to tap into the deeper gifts of their sexuality because of all of these unhelpful stories. But the good news is you don't have to go to years and years of therapy because there's nothing wrong with you or me. What's really funny in this video, I started talking about, how you can get clarity and direction of your life. I haven't even talked about how having sex becomes so much more enjoyable Obviously, when you get rid of these unhelpful stories, you're going to inhabit your body, you're going to feel more pleasure. And just for that reason alone is incredibly great reason to get rid of unhelpful stories. As I mentioned before, it's the nature of the mind that it will unconsciously repeat past experiences until you go in and rewrite those stories. Your body is your subconscious. That is why when you get triggered, whether you're like in an intimate moment or all of a sudden you get anxiety or whatever's going on, it kind of feels like your body's having this reaction. That's because it's recycling something that might have happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even a few weeks ago, or something that didn't even happen to you. It could have happened to somebody else, but you've got the story and it's in your body. Of course, that is going to limit your pleasure. Of course, that is going to limit how good you feel in your body. We've all had heartbreaking, sad, scary, and hurtful experiences in the past. It's time to rewrite those stories. So come to my workshop, Orgasmic Existence. Awaken a deep embodied intelligence, tremendous energy, passion, and an extraordinary amount of pleasure in your body. You'll release old stories, limiting beliefs, and cultural conditioning and replace it with greater intimacy, pleasure, freedom, and self-awareness of who you are and what you want as an exquisitely liberated sexual being. Click the link in the description below and come discover your orgasmic existence. My name is Soul, and I look forward to seeing you in there.